what it means to be in a growth mindset. We've talked about this multiple times, Tom, how you can't rely on someone else to do it for you. It has to be coming from you. We create, we do, we make our lives what we want them to be. And if nothing else, COVID, I believe, has taught a lot of us that.
Right. Absolutely. I think a lot of people, for me, in perspective on just life in general, just enjoying the ride, as they say.
Enjoying the ride. I was talking to someone. So this weekend, I was just talking to you pre-meeting about this past weekend. I was at my very best friend's house, and I had a unique conversation with her sister, actually, who we're very opposite, but yet we're not. And the conversation we were having was about living life. She came here to go to school at FIT. Her parents sent her here thinking it was a better life than what she could get at home in India. And they wanted the best for her. And now she's looking at her life, 20 something years later, going, I don't know if that was the best decision.
Wow.
I don't know if being here is the best thing for me. I miss my family. I want to be with them. I'm not with them on a regular basis. Yeah, this is an opportunity, but I'm not really doing and being what I thought I would. So she's married and divorced once. She felt pressured to get married, coming from an Indian background. She's in fashion. She's loving it. She owns an apartment. She's doing well. So by all intents and purposes, she would be considered successful. However, she doesn't have the joy.
She's not happy.
She's not happy. So it's interesting that you said the word happy and I used the word joy, because I was watching something the other day where they were talking about the difference between happiness and joy.
Okay.
And happiness is like something that's in the moment. You're happy because your kid is smiling at you or your kid took their first step. But joy is an overall experience. And it's within us, joy. Those are just semantics. I use the word happy all the time, but I really had just an amazing conversation with her. And I was so excited to talk to you today and to feel out what our viewers and audience want to hear and talk about, because I wonder how many people are feeling like I'm not exactly where I thought I would be. I'm not finding that joy.
I would love to have her on the show to,
right?
Oh man, you got to invite her next week. I'm
going to try and invite her. The ironic thing was, you and I talk every week about part of what we talk about is real estate and real estate development, because it's a hot topic and it's a way to do something and invest in yourself and your future and create wealth. And you're, kind of my guru with regards to that and my teacher with regards to that. And we were talking also about real estate development, and I'm going to invite some people on who are doing it on a bigger scale. Right. Like they're buying apartment buildings and renovating and selling off or renting, which, it's a bit different. You're not going to make that short-term income right away with a short-term rental like you would. Right. So it's a little bit different, but I would love to there's a fruit fly in front of my face right now. That little damn fruit fly that I keep trying to catch for like weeks now. He's right here. He decided to join our show today. Maybe he's looking for a growth mindset. Maybe he wants to multiply. Who the heck knows? But it's just interesting because, it's just, you and I just talked about it. You're about to launch an ebook and you're doing a whole bunch of things, and I'm still not ready to step off the curb.
Well, okay, so that's a great way to get into the topic for today, right? So
I still haven't had coffee, by the way. I'm going to grab it any second.
Where's that? A lot of people have that issue, right? When they want to start anything, it doesn't have to be real estate. It doesn't have to be a business. It may be a relationship. It may be having kids. It may be anything. So a lot of people don't know where to get started, right? And it's easier to put one foot next to each other rather than one foot in front of the other, right? It's just easier to do. So a lot of people would rather not take action and stand still, one foot next to the other, than to move forward, than to progress or progress. What do I usually say?
Oh wait, you say it, and I have it written down somewhere over here.
Progress. There we go. Progress, not perfection. Right. That's what we're looking for. Progress, not perfection. So we're looking for one foot after the other. Sometimes you might have to take 2 steps back to move 3 steps forward, and it's fine because you still made that 1 step forward. So a lot of people just have that difficulty. They have that wall up because they just don't know where to get started. And sometimes in life, you just have to go at it head first. You see a wall there, but you need to get through the wall, put your head down and duck and just run full force at that wall. I guarantee you your head's going to hurt, but you will eventually get through the wall. You have to go at life sometimes head first.
Now, we're on Clubhouse, so it's audio.
Right.
But Tom and I are actually together on Zoom.
Right.
While we're doing Clubhouse on audio. And I'm almost grateful that the Clubhouse audience can't see my face right now. Because it's a cross between exasperation, fear, and going, like, I want to hit my head and go, oh my God. It's not, none of this is easy. I mean, it's ironic that coaches get out there, and life coaches and gurus and all of them, they get out there and they talk about this all the time. And it makes it sound so incredibly easy. And you just did it in layman's terms. Like you're putting 2 feet next to each other or 1 foot forward. You can't start running until you move your feet. Right.
And you touched on a really great point, fear. Right. That's what a lot of people focus on when they're getting started. They focus on fear. Right. So, oh my God, I'm going to fail. I'm going to lose all my money. I won't be able to do it. What if you're able to do it? What if you experience joyful instead of being happy? Right now, we're going to start using that word because words are important.
Words are important.
Instead of experiencing fear, you start experiencing that joy from succeeding in what you want in life and being happy in the moment, but ultimately joyful, right? Yep. So how can you break through that barrier to actually get started, to actually progress in what you're looking to do?
That's an interesting point that you make, because sometimes, and I've been one of those people that have done this, it's almost the fear of success and succeeding in it that is scarier than the fear of falling off.
Yeah, so that comes from change, right? A lot of people fear. Yeah. We're going back to fear again. So change is good. Change, you need to learn to adapt, because if you're a master in your field, then you won't know anything other than that. So if life throws a curveball at you, but there's a great opportunity to 10x whatever you're doing and become much happier in less time and experience that freedom, people will not seize that opportunity. They won't even see it in front of them because of change and because of fear.
Boy, God, you're actually hitting some deep notes today. We have a bunch of people on. We have Angelica and Joseph. Please do raise your hand if you'd like to join us on the stage. I'm just going to reset the room really quick. This is Breakfast Bite with Tom and Joan. We come to you every Monday morning to talk about growth mindset and how you are your own person to move yourself ahead, and whatever that means. And we talk a lot about real estate based on Tom's got so much wealth of knowledge and experience in it. I mean, your mom still is the super of a building in Astoria, Queens, which is admirable. I mean, gosh. And first of all, having a female super to begin with is amazing.
You have no idea. She's so tough. From what she tells me, like, oh, if anything, I'll just come work for you. I'll demo. I was like, are you a crazy person? Like, demo? Like, I have younger guys and they're demoing and carrying garbage. You're in your 50s. I'm not going to put you to carry garbage. And like,
but you know what? That means something to her. She's got the experience and the worldliness to know that that's not beneath her, that anyone can do anything, and it makes you a better person.
Right.
when you know all those aspects and you can do it. Obviously, you know, as you're getting older, maybe that's not something you want to do in your business, but the fact that she can roll up her sleeves and get her hands dirty, that brings her joy, clearly.
Yeah, and it's today we're touching up on a lot of words specifically, right? So when you think about something like that, you're thinking about faith. So she believes that she can do it, right? And then drive. She knows she can, right? She knows that worst case scenario, I'll go do X, Y, and Z. It's just, again, because of the mindset of where she is, that traditional mindset. It's, again, we're touching on fear and we're touching on change. There's so much room for her to grow as a person and in just general, but she won't take that one foot after the other approach. She'd rather stand still.
So interesting. I've been grappling with these. Grappling, is that a good word? Grappling.
That's a wrestling word.
I've been struggling with this as an issue in my own life. You know, before the pandemic, I was flying high, doing this and that and the other thing every day. I had something going on and I was busy, in rabbit ear quotes. Busy. I was busy. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't joyful. I was happy in the moments, but I wasn't full of joy. And I have a very good friend who I'm going to invite to join our show. I wasn't even thinking about her as a possible guest because I'm thinking, oh, a person in real estate or a person doing this or a person doing that. But she has a company called Joyful Planet. And it's all about finding passion and joy. Mm-hmm. Because at one point in her life, she couldn't. Wow. And she couldn't get out of bed. And then she found ballroom dancing and at 50 became a ballroom dancing champion.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right? So like she found it later and found joy and is now creating programs for other people to find it. So it's interesting because I felt like I was flying high as a kite. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and it's not that the pandemic hit and everything changed. It's the pandemic hit and everything shifted to a different way. And I realized what I was doing wasn't really making me happy or joyful.
Right.
That it was just doing for the sake of doing. It was kind of like putting a foot next to it and sidestepping constantly, but never putting the foot forward.
Right.
And now I've actually put the foot back a couple of steps, which is interesting, but it's better for me right now. I am cleaning up, clearing out. We talk about this all the time. I talk to everybody I know about this. Every single person I know is cleaning house. We call it the Marie Kondoing their homes, getting rid of the things that don't bring them joy, cleaning up, throwing out, donating. I've donated books, clothing, furniture, food that has been sitting that in the freezer that I'm never going to use, that why shouldn't a shelter or somebody have it? Right. So things like that are ways to then take that step forward with our feet rather than sidestepping or backstepping. But backstepping has felt pretty darn good.
Yeah. And it's tough to do. So imagine yourself in a position, let's say you were making a decent wage, making $150,000, and then you realized that I can do X, Y, Z that will give me joy and will make me more money in the long term. So I need to focus on a job, right, that makes me $50,000. So you're taking $100,000 hit on your current salary, but you have more time to work on what your passion is, what brings you joy. Mm-hmm. So that is a difficult jump backwards. So sometimes though, you have to take that jump backwards to realize, wow, I went from my position that has all these salary that has these benefits, that has healthcare, all this stuff, to experience something that I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting at zero, but it allows me to take that step forward. But first I need to take a few steps back.
I love this. I love this. I was with somebody on the weekend who she's in her job now, I think it's 9 years, and said, I'm not challenged, but I get a lot of perks from my job. I get to travel. I get to go on exotic vacations. Of course, not these past 2 years.
Right.
And I'm not going to leave the job, even though it's a lot of work. I'm not challenged. It's just, I'm doing the job 9 to 5, boom, that's it. But I get to work from home. I get this, I get that. So in her mind right now, she's like, I am looking, and if something else presented itself, it would have to be amazing to take it. She said, but I'm kind of content right now, and I can do other things.
That's good. If she can do other things,
yeah,
and experience that benefit and still just have the time to do what she wants, then sure. But maybe she might be able to do even more of what she wants, but she loses the benefits, right? Yeah. So I have a lot of friends. I'm in construction. I have a lot of friends that are in the union. One is works for TSA. The other one is in the plumbers union. The other one is in the carpentry MTA union. And they are actually, all of them are experiencing a transition now where they see the opportunity for growth. One of them, I'm not going to mention any names, might be on this call right now. And he sees that he wants to get into real estate more. And another one does construction company on the side. And I guarantee you he makes more money than his MTA position, but he has the benefits. I have another one that's in the TSA, and he has great benefits, but wants to do more in real estate, wants to do more in short-term rental market, but is, again, there's a fear of change. There's a fear of losing those benefits. There's a fear of losing that Friday paycheck, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. And it's very, very scary.
Oh, yeah.
But imagine the time that you waste just going to work, what you can do towards your goal.
Yep.
So what ends up happening, a lot of these people, they start doing it as a side hustle, right? So it becomes a side hustle. And then when they see that it's close to what they're making now, or that it can replace it, that's when they cut the cord, or they extend it as much as they can, and then eventually cut the cord when they're making more, because then they realize, I'm like, holy shit, what am I doing here? Why am I wasting my time working for a union? Yes, the benefits are great, but I can provide for myself. And that's the ultimate goal. I read somewhere that they may cut like Social Security and stuff like that. So imagine me, I'm 33 years old.
I've been talking about that for years.
Right? Yeah. But imagine it actually happened. So imagine you took 30 years down the line. I'm someone that has no drive, and I'm sitting here waiting for my union benefits and Social Security and everything to kick in. And then 30 years down the line, they just cut it off. It went to XY or whatever, and it doesn't come to you anymore. What are you going to do at 65? You can't start from scratch. It's very difficult to do. So you need to be able to provide for yourself. You need to invest in yourself, because no one is going to do it.
Invest in yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. I love when you say that, because it's so true. And it's progress, not perfection. It's not stepping to the side, but stepping back or stepping forward. Right. Make a move. Don't be neutral.
Right. And it's all about taking action. And that's what a lot of people struggle with, taking that first step, whether it's backwards or forward. They struggle with that first step. And sometimes you have to give them a little push.
I was saying to you with what I'm doing, I have such a fear around it that it feels like I'm about to step off a sidewalk and fall. And I think I've had that fear a couple of times in my life, and I just didn't pay attention to it and just jumped and just did it and was like, no. I always felt like I had a net that would catch me just in case. And I still feel like I have a net, but I'm a little more, I guess when you start to get older and you have more going on, you may get more fear around that. So what do you say about that? And anyone on this call have any comments or questions about that? Please do raise your hand. We're happy to hear it.
So here you made two good points. One is when you fall, right? You say you don't have anyone to catch you, but what you're not realizing is that you will catch yourself. I challenge you, put one foot next to the other and just fall forward. What's going to happen? Naturally, your arms will come up and you will catch yourself on the floor.
Yep.
Right? So you are investing in yourself. You will catch yourself, and you need to make sure that you understand that you're there for yourself, whether you know it or not. Subconsciously, your arms will automatically go up and catch yourself.
Yeah.
So you can take that jump. If you're at the edge of the sidewalk, jump, because you will catch yourself. You will figure out a way, because if you believe you can, you will.
Yes.
And then risks, right? A lot of people stop taking risks. We're built by society to stop taking risks after a certain age. And that happens when you go to school. As a child, you take risks, you jump off trees, you jump off beds, you do crazy things, you get hurt. But what happens is that you get right back up.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people lose that chance, that taking of risks, because they're scared. So they'd rather play it safe. And we're built this way because of society to play it safe. But the people that advance in life and move forward in life are the ones that are taking risks, but they're calculated risks, right? So I'm not telling you to go to the edge of a hill and jump. I'm telling you to go to the edge of a hill, put a parachute on, and then jump. So calculate your risk, hedge your bet on yourself that you will pull yourself up. And a lot of people need to kind of go back into the child in them and take those risks. Go backwards in life to understand that why would I have done this at 3 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, but I'm not doing it now because society has built me this way. And I can't build myself around society.
I was at a retirement party for a firefighter, cousin of mine. He's very high up in the fire department. This was Thursday evening. It was a lot of fun. Out in their yard, front yard, backyard. And there were kids running around all over the place. Mm-hmm. My little nephew I was telling you about earlier, 3-year-old, he was there. All these kids. I believe it was the sister of the host. She has a daughter. The daughter was playing. All of a sudden we hear a scream. She's not that young. She's probably, I'd say 7, 8, 9, 10-ish, whatever. Like around that age range. I can't tell the size and the look of a kid by the age. She fell and she's screaming, and we all rush over, and her mother is the one who says, "You're fine, you're fine." Right. And we're all standing there going, "Wait, we should look at it. We should look at it. We should clean it. Oh my God, what if she really did get hurt? Look. Her mother was like, "No, she'll be fine. She'll be fine."
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that the mom was the one that kept saying, "She'll be fine. She'll be fine." And we were the ones so worried about having to check it and make sure it's okay. Now, she was crying. It hurt. And we don't know how bad it was.
Right.
And yet the mom is like, "Go play. You're fine."
Right.
Didn't even look at it.
It's man, today's just like a crazy day with all this talk. There's the other day, my 1-year-old daughter, she was walking outside and she fell down. And I wanted to treat my 1-year-old daughter the same way that I treated my 1-year-old son, right? So just because she's a girl, I'm not going to treat her any different. So she fell down and she was crying a little bit. I was like, "Oh, just get up," and like distracted her to try and move forward. And she cut herself a little bit or whatnot, but she kept moving. So you don't have to lie to them, right? We're not talking about lying to them and telling them, "Oh, you're fine," when I'm really in pain. You're bringing out the positive as opposed to focusing on the negative. So you tell them that they're fine because in their mind, "I fell down, I need to cry." It triggers something, right? So it triggers for them. "Oh, I fell down, I hurt myself." In the moment, you feel the little pain. What's next? I need to trigger the emotional, the tears, the crying, the "I need my daddy, mommy" kind of thing, right? So if you focus on the positive, "Oh, the ball is still getting away, I need to get back up and go get the ball," then you're fine. You will move forward. So a lot of people do that.
It's almost like an attention thing too. It's like, I'm going to acknowledge to the world that I am in pain and I need you to acknowledge it back to me.
Right.
So I'm going to cry.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I was telling you, so I got assaulted on the subway.
Right.
2.5 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago on Friday. And my initial reaction to it was anger.
Of course.
And I wanted to kind of yell back at the person, but you're dealing with someone that you don't know what their mental capacity is. and where they are right now. You don't want to mess anything up here. You don't want to cause more than less. You want to dissipate the whole situation. And I don't know what kind of a weapon this person could have had or whatnot. So I dealt with it, and I was so angry. But then when the woman was on the train and the train left and I was on the platform, kind of in the moment, realizing what happened, I burst into tears. And there were people that came to comfort me. A whole family came over, and this other woman came over, and 2 other women came over. And at the moment, I think it was more, the crying was more out of, oh my God, this just happened, than anything else. I mean, I was hurt. I hurt my arm, but I wasn't crying from the pain. I was crying from the emotion. Right.
And it's a natural emotion that you felt at the moment, right? Someone is coming at you. It's natural. You're going to get scared. You're going to be fearful. You're going to cry. You're going to get hurt. Whatever it is, you're going to feel that those are natural. But again, it's based on what we've been formed and kind of the way society has built us. It's okay. Someone is yelling at me. Why don't we realize, okay, maybe why did he yell at me? What is he going through? Like where, right. So imagine the things in that person's mind. Obviously he's not in the right state of mind to be yelling at people and attacking people on the subway, but focus on the positive. I'm alive. Nothing, nothing like I've seen people being pushed in the subway, like God forbid, you know what I mean? Like, right. So imagine on what could have happened and what actually happened. Is you have to focus on the positive on it.
Yeah. And I think about that every day. I think, God, the train could have started moving when she pushed me, and I could have fallen, and if I had my phone out, I could have dropped. Like, I think of all the what ifs. It could have been more. She could have had a weapon.
Right.
It could have been more crowded. More people could have gotten hurt. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. And in the moment, and I still have PTSD from that moment of, oh my God, what could have, but I also do have compassion and understanding. And the first thing I kept thinking of was, wow, this is a deranged person. This is someone who does not have the mental capacity to understand that this is wrong. So clearly something is going on and wrong with them. And all I could think of was, I hope that they get help.
Right.
And I hope that, and I lit a candle and went to church that day and lit a candle, and all weekend lit candles for this person.
Right. And it's a natural state of mind, right? So when something like this happens to you, this trauma happens to you. I was watching it the other day, and I've seen this video so many times. It's just such a powerful video by Ed Milet, and he's interviewing Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? And he's talking about how naturally, when something like this happens to you, when you have a trauma in your life, you wake up and you look for that trauma. You're living in the past. It happened. So you're focusing on it. So I wake up, oh man, this lady, she happened, and we keep talking about it. We keep bringing it up to life. So every day you wake up looking for the past, and you're bringing it to the present, and it's going to define your future, right? So what it does is when you take a step back and understand that, hey, I'm living in the past, I need to understand that if you keep bringing this up and it becomes your mood, right? Oh, Joni is in a mood, and it goes on for a month, 2 months, then it becomes a trait. And then 10 years later, you're still bringing this up. It becomes your personality, and people are like, oh, she's just mad at the world, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It defines you.
People who do this.
Right. So it defines you as a person, but now you have the mindset growth to understand, hey, if I wake up and I focus on this, right? So we're talking about focusing on this. If you focus on this, you're living in the past. And the other day when I was watching this, I wrote this down because it blew my mind how accurate it is. And I do this myself sometimes. And it's just crazy how we live like this, right? So I will refuse to live in the past. I will presently live in the future.
Oh, I love that. I will refuse to live in the past. I will presently live in the future.
Right? So what does that mean? So I'm refusing that trauma. I am waking up. I am not focusing on that trauma. When it comes to my mind, I go make my coffee and focus on my coffee. I do something else that
Thanks
I don't.
A lot. You just reminded me that I didn't drink my coffee.
An hour later, still didn't drink
Still didn't drink my coffee.
I will refuse the past, right? We're refusing to live in that trauma on a day-to-day basis, so it doesn't become a personality of you. So what we do is we have to presently, right now, in the very moment, standing in your 2 feet, focus on your future. What do I want out of my life?
I'm doing it right now. My feet are on the ground, Tom.
So presently live in the future. And how I define that is that what do you want out of your life in the future? You're going to presently live that life. I want to take Fridays off. I'm so busy. I want to take Fridays off every single Friday. So what do I do now that I don't have the time to actually do it? I'm doing it because I am presently living in the future. I want to do these things in the future. I have to do them now. I have to take action now.
I love it. That is a perfect segue. That is a perfect way to kind of conclude everything. It's like kind of a wrap up of everything we've talked about today. It really is. It's like a perfect segue to end. It really is. It's like, okay, we're living in the future. What are you going to do next today now, Tom?
I got to go through my list, but I'm taking action, right? So I have a list of things I need to do today. And if I don't get to something and I have to move it to tomorrow, that's fine. Because again, we are always looking for progress, not perfection. That's the perfect progression of life.
It is. My future is going to include that cup of coffee that hasn't yet been made. It's sitting right on the other side of this computer waiting for me, going, hello, come back.
That's so funny. All right, well.
Awesome. Well, this has been Breakfast Bite with Tom and Joan. It's been a pleasure to have you coming and joining us this morning. Please join us again next Monday. Oh my goodness. So next week, I am going to be at my folks' house. I'm spending the whole week at their house. Nice. Yeah, I just, I get a lot of benefit from change of scenery, changes my mindset, and my routine changes my mindset. And I'm really looking forward to spending some time there. My mom said to me, yeah, why don't you come for just a couple of days? I'm like, no, I'm coming for the whole week. And she's like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
I'm like, I won't get in your way.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I hope you'll spread the word and join us next week. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, have a good one.